More goblins. As you can see, goblins are weak as all hell in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Final Fantasy XI, where goblins are literally like, especially in the lower levels, are like an oh shit, I done goofed moment.
Oh no. Ooh, some new environment.
Yeah.
Sand!
Yeah, and we're at the point now with the bridge repaired, we can get out and do some exploring. And hopefully not get killed. 3 Gigasworms and an Ogre. This is probably gonna suck.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure the Gigasworms are weak to fire, so we'll go ahead and blast one with fire.
Hey.
Just had to be a friggin' Ogre. Oof. Bit of a rough start for the Warriors of Light.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's do some Thunder. Actually, let's do Fire in case we do take the Ogre down. And we'll have Bastett cure Pumpkin.
Okay.
Or try to before he gets KO'd and is face down in the sand.
No.
Burn, motherfucker. Oh, there we go. Making progress. I want to get out and just explore all willy-nilly, but the threat to our safety is quite real.
Yep.
That's the most frustrating thing when a character gets KO'd. I mean, other than the fact that the party's a lot more likely to die. Especially when it's your warrior or your healer. But, like, then they're just not caught up with the XP anymore, so they're not all leveling up at the same time anymore. Because you don't get EXP when you're KO'd. Pumpkin is level 6. Okay, let's go up here. I think I see a cave on the mini-map.
Okay.
Although they did mention in Cornelia that someone named Matoya lives in a cave.
Mm-hmm. She's effectively blind without her crystal eye.
Yep. Matoya's cave. Oh, there's a broom. Cleaning the floor. I'm getting like a Walt Disney vibe here.
Yep.
Frontwards, backwards, any way you see. Such a strange spell to swish swisheree. Eno Ludna Leknak Swish Swisheroo. Well, whatever keeps you motivated. Ouch! It's a nice little pad.
Mm-hmm.
My eye! My eye! Son of a bitch, ouch! I can't see a blasted thing without my crystal eye. Who could have stolen it from me? My eye, my eye. Oh, and let's just steal her shit. Antidote, potion, and another potion.
Can we break the pots?
No, but in some RPGs, I don't know if Final Fantasy being, like the first Final Fantasy being one of them, sometimes you can find hidden items in pots.
Okay.
With the Pixel Remaster, you can pull up this thing with maps, though.
Mm-hmm.
Switch maps. Yes, okay, so it'll tell you, so we just opened 3 chests here. So for each area, it's going to tell you how many treasure chests you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know in Castle Cornelia, there's some rooms that are locked with that mystic key. Same with the Chaos Shrine, so of course it stands to reason that we are missing some treasure chests.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, just general items, like in Matoya's Cave, it says we're missing an item. So that could potentially be hidden in a pot or a bookcase, or it could be in a hidden area that we don't have access to yet.
Okay.
Yep. It's always good to check people's beds, because in some RPGs it'll actually let you sleep in a person's bed.
Interesting.
There's nothing more we can do here, so we'll head east and we'll come back here if we ever find that crystal eye.
Okay.
So what are you thinking of this remaster of an old classic so far, babe?
I mean, it's frighteningly straightforward and simple. I can see what you mean by very grind-heavy.
Yeah, and a lot of the grinding I can just do off camera, too. Just so people aren't having to watch that for, you know, an entire hour or so.
Yeah.
But are you liking it so far?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping eventually we'll see some, if not plot, then, you know, some kind of progression in a twist or something. But yeah, so far I like it.
Yeah, I will say it's been years since I finished this on the Game Boy Advance. It is the first Final Fantasy. It's the story for it is not like compared to the RPGs and other Final Fantasies today. The story is very primitive and very simplistic, very straightforward. It's a product of its time. But one thing I will say, I guess it just depends how you look at things. One thing I do enjoy about games like that, though, is, you know that term headcanon? Where, you know, you have characters in a game or whatever, whether it's a game like this or D&D or whatever, and there's that open interpretation for roleplay or thinking about your characters and their backstory, or like even with our Final Fantasy XI series, some of the side stories and roleplay skits we do for our characters that aren't necessarily part of the core story of the game. Games like this, I feel, give you some freedom for that. Like, even the fact that our characters, you know, we picked what our characters were named, we're basing them off the cats, we picked their jobs, so as we play this game, we're kind of going to have that freedom of, oh, this is Pumpkin, the warrior. He's not a pre-established character with pre-established motives and personality that the game assigned him. You kind of have that freedom to mold him in your head yourself, if that makes sense. So that is kind of the beauty about some of these older RPGs. I know not everybody sees it that way, but you kind of have that freedom to imagine things a little more in your head. Because they basically are your own characters.
Yeah, and like we're attributing some random little things to our cat's personalities, like the fact that the white mage idol makes it look like she's flipping people off, and yeah.
Yeah, that was a beautifully unintended little animation there. Very, very matching with Bastett's sassy personality.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're in Pravoka, which is that town that Buddy said he was from. Please help us! With what? What do you need help with? Please help us! Cool. That's great. That's so vague. We must be playing Final Fantasy XI. Those blasted pirates, they're running around looting and pillaging like they own the place. Well, thank you. That's some useful information. While that's happening, I'm a nap.
The price went up.
It did, yeah. That's a common thing with JRPGs as you get further into the game and get to further places. Prices do go up.
Oh, okay.
Especially for the inn and such. Okay. Let's see what the shops have.
Claiming that they're being overrun by pirates, I don't see a lot going on.
Well, they better be willing to sell us some shit if they want us to help. Okay. Oh, yeah, prices are starting to get steep. Okay. Broadsword for Pumpkin. Scimitar for Kenzie. That's where the game gets kind of grindy. Is going out and killing stuff and making money.
Okay.
Yeah. The things we wish we could do in real life, right? And now we're already at level 2 spells. Blindna cures darkness. Silence casts silence on all enemies. Silence means they can't use magic.
Okay.
Null Shock reduces lightning damage by half the entire party. Invisible raises one ally's evasion. And then for black magic, we've got Blizzard, Dark, blinds all enemies with darkness, Temper, and Slow. But I think I want to hit the armor shop first. And see if we can get some armor before we start getting spells. And that looks like the pirates there.
That's awfully pink, fellows.
Yeah. Oh, we can get a leather shield for Pumpkin. And leather gloves for everybody.
Nice.
Nice. So broadsword, leather shield, leather gloves. So you can see how that's raising the defense stat. But evasion goes down a little bit because you're wearing heavier gear.
Oh, okay.
Okay, leather gloves for Sunny. Leather gloves for Bastett. So, actually, if I remember correctly, pirate enemies, because they're pirates, they do tend to drop quite a bit of gil. So if we do challenge and defeat the pirates here, that might get us some money that we can actually spend on more stuff.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to save. Okay, shall we go challenge the pirates?
Alrighty.
And just what you'd be doing here. You wouldn't be looking to make trouble with Bick's Biccaneers, would ya? Bick, yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm.
You've got cannonballs of steel to be taking on the great pirate Bick. Keel haul 'em, boys. Pumpkin's like, yeah, I got balls of steel. They don't do anything anymore, but they're still there. Aye, aye, Captain. We'll make their bones go crunch. Alright. This may have been a mistake, but let's do this. Now, one shitty thing... Alright, this would be a good time to try doing sleep.
I was just about to say, yeah.
One shitty thing about the old version of Final Fantasy 1, and I think even Final Fantasy 2 as well, is back in the day, you notice how I got Pumpkin and Kenzie attacking the same pirate?
Mm-hmm.
If Pumpkin were to kill that pirate in the old game, and then Kenzie went to attack, instead of going, oh hey, I'm just going to change to a different target, she would have just attacked the empty space and attacked nothing, but thankfully in this version, they got rid of that little inconvenience.
Oh good, because I was about to say that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's annoying. Complete waste of a turn. Probably just limited by the technology of the time. Sleep. I think, yeah, we put all but one to sleep.
Nice.
And because that one just got hit by Bastett, I believe he got woken up. Beautiful. Oh, one of them are... Oh, wow! That didn't last long at all.
Just one turn, basically?
Not even. Not even. We put them to sleep and they just woke back up on the same turn. Like, what's the point in even using it?
Huh.
Well, we'll just do what works and just set people on fire, I guess. Sunny's gonna be a little arsonist.
Oh, you mean in the game? Yeah, sure.
Well, Sunny's always got like that wide-eyed, goggled expression when she's like enamored with something. Just imagine her just looking at a fire, just like, ooh.
That has happened.
I started that. Oh yeah, we got 360 gil for that.
Nice.
And Pumpkin leveled up.
Yeah, I had to make sure I had to make sure that Sunny didn't scorch her whiskers the first time she saw a candle.
I'd be most sorry, young masters. I'll be making no more fuss, I swear. I want you to take me ship for your troubles. Can you find it in your heart to forgive an old pirate? And no, it does not give you the option to kill him in the streets. This isn't Fallout after all.
Despite the fact that you burned the rest of his people alive.
Yeah, we sure showed him. We got a pirate ship. Right here.
There it is.
Yeah. And yes, you can run into enemies on the water.
Wah!
Apparently a lot of enemies.
Yeesh.
Well, this will be the start of getting some of that gil. Oh, and the eyes know the gaze move, which paralyzes people. That's going to do wonders to our DPS. Eventually, Sunny will be able to learn target all spells. Because these are all like water. The Sahagins are a common water-based enemy. They're in Final Fantasy XI as well, too. Mm-hmm. But they're weak to lightning. Mm-hmm. So if we had like a hit all lightning spell, we'd be able to just like hammer all these guys with lightning and probably wipe most, if not all, out in one shot.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the Black Mage becomes very much a crowd-clearing piece later. But you gotta do it sparingly because they can only use their spells so many times, right?
Right.
So that's where you gotta either run back to town and use the inn, or carry tents or cottages with you.
Mm-hmm. I don't suppose you can use those while you're on the ship, though.
No, I don't believe so. That'd be pretty cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'd camp on a ship.
You would.
I would. Why not?
Wouldn't you get seasick?
I've never really had an issue with getting seasick, to be honest. I mean, to be fair, I haven't been on a lot of boats or ferries or whatever in my life, but never really had an issue with getting seasick.
Yeah, I took medicine with me in case I would get seasick on a cruise, and I ended up giving it, like, pretty much everything to a classmate of mine who was very seasick.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so like I said, I'll do some grinding off camera, and then we will pick back up and do some shopping.
Alrighty.
Okay, we liberated the town of Pravoka from the threat of the pirates, and they were kind enough to change their ways and give us their ship. Now, I did a little bit of grinding off camera when we took a little break, so Pumpkin's got some shiny iron armor. I don't think I did too much with Kenzie, but for Bastett and Sunny, our white mage and black mage, we've got some level 2 spells now. So we've got Invisible, which raises one ally's evasion, Silence, which casts silence on all enemies and makes them unable to use magic. I don't know how useful or effective that's going to be in one of the older Final Fantasies. The older Final Fantasies are kind of notorious for these enfeebling debuff spells not being very useful. And then Null Shock reduces lightning damage by half for the entire party, so that can be useful in certain situations. And then for Sunny, we got Blizzard, deals ice damage to one enemy, Slow, which reduces all enemies' numbers of attacks, and Temper, which raises the attack of one ally. So if we want to activate Roid Rage mode on Pumpkin, like when he takes some of his medication in real life, we can go ahead and utilize that option.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, with these games, especially the older ones where they don't really spoon feed you as much on where to go and directions and stuff, it is important to talk to the NPCs. They say there are elves living across the sea, but the elf prince has fallen into a deep sleep and hasn't woken up. Does that sound like a hint if you've ever heard one before?
I don't know. Generally, I'm not in the habit of walking up to ladies with green hair and asking what the local gossip is, and then jumping into a ship and leaving the country to see if it's true.
Well, habits are made to be broken.
Okay.
Change your habits, change your life. That's what my old nutrition coach said, anyway. And of course, we can run into baddies on the ship too.
Of course. So, just out of curiosity, these are water-based creatures. Are they, are we following logic? Are they going to be vulnerable to lightning attacks?
They should be. Let's find out.
Okay.
I did do some grinding against these guys off camera. I'm pretty sure they were weak to lightning, but this is the oldest of Final Fantasies, so yeah, I would say that was pretty effective. 67 damage.
Okay. I'm kind of following Pokemon logic, you know. Oh, they're water-based.
Yeah.
Hit them with lightning. That should work. They're
Yeah.
plant-based. Hit them with fire.
Yeah, a lot of water-based, like Sahagins there, that Sahagin sheep, they show up in quite a few Final Fantasies. And, yeah, lightning being effective against the water types usually applies. I know when we tackle Final Fantasy VII later, you start to get into like a more of a futuristic kind of world.
Ooh,
and
okay.
robots and machines and stuff, and those are weak to lightning because it kind of like fries their circuits or overloads them or whatever. That was always my theory anyway.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, they kind of tried something different at that point.
So, the green-haired lady simply said that the elves are across the sea. She didn't give you a direction which way across the sea.
Yeah, and these older RPGs, that's kind of par for the course. The game is very much a product of its time. I don't think much of the dialogue has been changed. Maybe just translated a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying not to use up all of our magic here. Although, if we do find where we're going, we'll probably be able to hit up a town and, in theory, another inn. But, yeah, this game is very much... You have to talk to the NPCs. There might be that one random NPC that's easy to miss, easily forgettable, and they might say something like, oh, I hear there's like some serious shit going on out in the East or whatever, and you're like, well, we're the protagonists in this painfully single-player game. We should probably go check that out. Oh, poor Sonny's getting beat to shit.
I'm guessing you can't use that campfire in the middle of the woods.
What?
Sorry, not campfire, that tent, you know, like a portable inn, so to speak.
Oh, I was like, campfire? What? Oh, yeah, I think you can use it on the ship, actually.
Oh.
I think. Well, if we get the chance later, we'll test that. Holy shit. Holy encounter rates. These old games, the encounter rate's pretty brutal.
I was about to ask, like, I know you did some grind off screen, so is it like the game's thinking you're high-powered enough that it's just going to start throwing...
No, it's just older games and high encounter rate. That's... I mean, if you're out grinding, it's good, but it's just the older games, you know? Like, I remember playing this game on the Game Boy Advance. It was the Final Fantasy 1 and 2 remake, Dawn of Souls. Mm-hmm. Good port, you know, they really watered down the game's difficulty. I know the original NES version of this game, I've never played it, but I've heard it was pretty brutal. And the PlayStation 1 remake was pretty brutal for difficulty. But, I remember the last dungeon of this game being like, almost like every step or two you take was a battle.
I've noticed that with some of these retro games you've showed me over time, that it's just, like, yes, the character development is kind of weak because you're just supposed to be sitting around a tiny computer screen with your friend on another crappy controller and just doing a beat 'em up, but yeah, like every 3 steps you go find something and then finally you forget which direction you're going with in the first place, and yeah. Yeah, and it's just, it's a product of its time, you know? Like, the RPG genre was pretty young. It's a product of its time. It's an interesting piece of gaming history, and Final Fantasy has come a long way in its storytelling with what they have today. So it's interesting to go back and play one of these and just see its roots. I mean, this is not, of course, the original port of the game. It's been remade and re-released a couple of times now. But it is interesting to go back and see that. And a lot of RPGs have taken inspiration from the Final Fantasy genre, so it's really interesting to see. Like, there's so many different RPGs and options out there, not even necessarily Square Enix RPGs, but just there's lots of stuff out there to check out. Like, we're getting beat to shit out here. So these characters, of course, can just, you know, theoretically, as long as you don't die, you can just sail the ocean and level grind as much as you want. Is this considered an open sandbox or no? Like, I'm really late to the whole computer games at all thing, and like games like Skyrim are called open sandbox because you can literally just head off in whatever direction you want and go beat things up.
I mean, in comparison to other, like, huge open world games today, I don't know that a lot of people would describe it that way. But it is a game that encourages exploration with its huge world map. I mean, the storyline is quite linear, and as long as you're following it the way it's intended to be followed. But yeah, I guess, yeah, you could say that it's, yeah, it encourages exploration in an open sandbox kind of way. But if you compared it to, like, bigger games like the Fallout franchise or Skyrim or whatever, yeah, I don't know that a lot of people would describe it that way, but I see what you're getting at for sure. I'm gonna try using Temper on Pumpkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go Roid Rage.
Sonny, piss Pumpkin off. Pumpkin, destroy. Now he's glowing red. Ah, the wolf just ran away. Fuck this shit, I'm out. That cat's pretty big and he looks pissed.
The vet says that Pumpkin is overweight, he is just big boned.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
140 damage, damn. I also picked up some potions too. There's a bunch of like stat healing stuff, like healing like blind and other stuff. Like we've got a few antidotes, but kind of prioritized picking up some potions. Just keep our little kitty adventures going.
Yay!
Oh, I see a castle of some kind to the south.
Yeah.
Well, I think that means an inn, so I'm gonna be a little more liberal about our spell casting.
Okay.
Let's make Pumpkin go Roid Rage again.
Does that only work on the fighter?
No, you can use it on anybody else, but ideally you'd want to use it on Pumpkin, because I mean he's a big warrior with a big sword. He's gonna hit hard.
Yeah.
Send your kid in that's got the biggest stick, you know?
And this is why you're not allowed to supervise the playground anymore, Dustin.
I never was allowed to supervise the playground. Let's not sugarcoat it. Hey, I can watch the kids. No. No.
Baby Fight Club.
Baby Fight Club.
Pretty much.
If you can crawl, you can fight. Okay. I vote let's head down to this castle. See what the sitch is at this place.